Senator Cullinane.
Just to clarify them for the record.
Gormagat, and welcome to the House, Minister, and welcome as well to all of the people in the public gallery who have come up to listen to this debate as well here today. Minister, I don't envy your job. It's always a difficult job to do, and when you have to balance competing demands. But I've listened very carefully to this debate. I've listened to people from both government and opposition over the last hour and a half. And I remember about 4 years ago in Waterford, there was a geriatric care unit, coincidentally called St.Brigids, in St. Patrick's Hospital in Waterford, which was closed. And I remember at the time when it was being closed, the promises were made by the then government that when the unit was closed, replacement beds would be put in place. And I remember saying that, listen, once the unit is gone, it's gone forever. And without a guarantee of replacement beds, I wasn't going to buy a pig in the poke. And what happened? The ward was closed, and guess what? No replacement beds. And we're still waiting for a new community nursing unit in Waterford. So I can certainly understand the fears the people of Ballinasloe would have that we're going to see St.Brigids closed. But the Minister is saying that, well, we're going to see replacement units built and we're going to see additional services. The reality is that if the beds being closed, if the beds are taken from Ballinasloe, it's a loss into that area and for that community, and I can understand their fears. You see, I've listened to this debate for the last hour and a half, and even a number of government senators. I know they're from the constituency and they're maybe under political pressure, but they have talked about the criteria process which they believe hasn't been applied fairly. Not opposition, but government senators. One said he's going to abstain, and one was quite critical of the decision that was made. And I have to take cognizance of that as well. So I believe that if this was in my area, in Waterford, I would be as upset as the people in the public gallery and the people of Ballinasloe generally. I think it was a reasonable request that's in the motion, which calls for a carrying out of a full, independent, transparent and fair review of the decision to close the acute inpatient bed unit at St.Brigids, and for a stay to be put on the beds being closed or the unit being closed pending the outcome of that review. And if that embarrasses anybody, then so what? You know, somebody said earlier they're embarrassed. There's lots of motions that are put down that we can all say we can be embarrassed. There's no reason to be embarrassed. You'll only be embarrassed if you believe that you are voting for something that you shouldn't be voting for. That's the only reason why any senator in this House would be embarrassed, in my view. So I don't think there was anything wrong in the wording of the motion. I did, and my party did table an amendment to the motion which seeks to remind the Fianna Fáil party of their failures in government in relation to a vision for change. And I believe that that had to be done as well, because they too had opportunities to deliver on this issue. But if I can move now to the more broad issues of